So we're doing another session of the Gostak. It's been a little more than a month since I last played it, so it's not very fresh in my memory. What I did do, though, is I took the document that we made of all of the nouns and verbs that we've learned, and I've moved it into Google Sheets so that I can easily sort it if we have to later. All of these meanings, I'm not 100% sure if these are correct yet, so I might change them in the future, and I'm going to do my best. It seems like there's not really a way to consistently save your game in this, so the main way you make progress is by learning what words mean and then starting it over from the beginning. If you didn't see the first session of this game, it was really interesting. Before we started playing, we looked at the help menu. I think it was help. I'm trying to remember how we got to it. Oh, yeah. For Jalen actually means help. And there's like a guide, there's a walkthrough for the game that's written in Gostakian, which we didn't look at because it would be a spoiler. But the fact that there's a UI here and a help menu that follows some rules, like you can kind of figure out what fesh means, you can figure out what asta means, and so on. So by reading all these and getting all of these examples, I think we spent maybe 45 minutes of the last hour stream just reading through the help menu and writing down what a lot of these words mean. So I'm going to move forward on the words that I think I already understand, and we'll try to make progress from there. All right. So let's just refresh the game. Just a reminder, finally we're here at the Delcot of Tondum, where Dosh is Deave. But the Doschery Lut is crenned with Glauds. Glauds, how warm it would be to pell back to the Beal and distunk them. Distunk the whole Delcot and let the Drokes discrenn them. But you are the Gostak, and the Gostak distims the Doshes, and no Gloud will whirl them from you. So we've learned what some of those words mean. I don't know what a Gloud is. They seem like they're bad, and they're going to stop me from distimming Doshes. The ultimate goal of the game is to distim Doshes. Alright. The thing that we ended last session learning, we figured out what the directions were, right? Left, yeah, G-Hoff, G-Loff, Jerf, Key-Hoff, Key-Loff, Key-Hoff, mean like upright, right up, down, left, and so on. So let's do our best to remember how to move around here. So I think we had a go command. Deave. Deave G-Hoff. I only understood you as far as wanting to Deave. Deave.
Die?
You pell Deave for a Cranling.
You die for...
It's Gostakian for... Camling, I believe, means like a time step or a second. You can see it gets counted in the corner, so every time
you die for a
I
second. Deave is totally die.
I don't think it's die. I think it's die. To go, to move. Pell, look or go. Pell. The Delcot, you're already there. Pell, G-Hoff? Can't pell at that Lut. I think Lut means direction. Pell... I wrote this down here too. Pell Kerf? You're on a Gomway, deaving Hoff, with gropples on the Fosk. So Hoff was direction. It is a direction. It's one that I know, right? It's down. All right, south, let's say. So you're on a Gomway heading south with gropples on the Fosk. So grapple might be forks in the road. Oh, I never wrote down grapple. Let's do that now. Down fork. Do we learn Fosk? No. I guess that Fosk is road. There's a stike across the Gomway here, and the Delcot is to Jerf. Delcot's where we just came from. We already interacted with the Glauds there. Jerf is a direction. I think Kerf is like east and Jerf is west, or whichever. Let's see. Can we... What was look? We had an important one that means look. So Pell means go. Reb? Let's Reb Stike. You Reb. Pell Stike. Okay, didn't do anything with that. D
Is this a whole
Stike.
game? Or is this just a puzzle in the game?
What do you mean?
Like, deciphering.
Figuring out what
words.
any of it means is the whole game.
That's the whole game.
The help menu is written in Gostakian. So you have to figure out that, oh, that must mean save, because this is clearly the kind of menu that would describe saving your game, that sort of thing. So I've learned a whole bunch of words as a result of doing that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did they open with weather? Isn't that what the Germans did? They always opened with the weather report?
Stike. I haven't done anything with weather yet, but it's been that sort of thing.
Isn't that a whatever Enigma machine thing?
That's the Enigma machine, yeah. This one's... You learn it more through the syntax more than anything else. Like, no one ever writes a sentence that way unless if it's referring to a direction or something similar. And if you want to play this game, you can play this for free. Just Google the Gostak. I'm playing it in a browser right now. It's pretty sweet. And you'd be surprised what you can figure out just by playing around in the menu for a few minutes. The Stike deaves across the Gomway. I don't think I can really do much else to the Stike, can I? Just look at just the verbs for a second. Abvate Stike. That's Shoracle.
What's a Stike?
I don't know. No idea. Alright, what else can we try? So we try understanding the Stike. We can beckle about Stike. Beckle. Beckle like a dusket. Okay, beckle means like to think. Kren Stike.
You look like a dusket.
Oh, I can only kren glouds. Okay. Deave Stike? Okay. Degom Stike means like to clean. Degom. But you aren't in anything currently. Oh, maybe degom doesn't mean clean, because gom means what? Store or access? Maybe it's to remove oneself from or to exit. Let me edit that. Oops. Alright, diskren Stike, which probably won't work because it's not a gloud. It's not krenned in anything. Okay.
What the fuck is a gloud?
Glauds are bad. They keep me from distimming the dashes.
That doesn't... I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, me neither. Disengope Stike. Disengope's not a dape you recognize. Dape means word. Disengope. Okay, I guess I can't use it in this context. Distunk Stike. I distunked it. Awesome. I thought distunk was undo or unmake, but I don't think that's technically right. Can I talk to the Stike? Doach Stike. Doach. Doach to Stike. You can only do that to something pultive, and we think pultive means talkative. Glake Stike. You can't zank what isn't pultive. So Glake and Doach are associated in some way, since they both have to do with pultiveness. Glake.
I know. Blurns are loaded.
Associated with
and
two anti-blurns.
The second blurn of the blurn ballness, and he's got two blurns till he's out. Something.
Gom Stike. Oh, that's interesting. Gom is store or access the Stike, because that's the same as Deave Stike? Or not, a Pel Stike, excuse me.
Ooh, chocolate milk. That's a good choice.
Okay, so Deave is potentially...
Put some, like, peppermint schnapps in there. The chocolate milk.
Sometimes Gom synonym. Let me expand the notes section here.
You're like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't either. I'm literally brute forcing right now. Jalon. Oh, no, Jalon is help, and I don't want to go in the help menu. Lauk Stike. It's not a date. Yes, it is. Lauk means to type, because in this Lauk is a mistake. Mach Stike? With the sham tag, you can't rask things. Or that can't rask things. Sham tag. Rask was an important rask Stike. That's Shoracle. Shoracle, I don't know what it means, but I feel like it means radical.
Oh.
Or impossible. Wait, when did I see Shoracle earlier? I used a word earlier that said sure. Cool. Can I control F for it? At yourself, first rasking the strike. I think you're right. I think it does mean bullshit. I think it means impossible. Adjective. Impossible. That's impossible. So I can't rask the stike. Alright, let's keep going here. I've already tried to pel stike. Can we reb stike? You reb it. Alright. Regom stike. Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Free access. Can we rike stike? Not something you can rike. Shit. Smib stike. I only understood you as far as wanting to smib. Smib. You'll smib when you're zanked and not before. So I previously thought that smib might mean to die. And we just saw the word zank, didn't we? You can't zank what isn't pultive.
Can't kill what's dead.
You can't kill what isn't alive. Oh, I bet pultive means alive, not talkative. Alright, hold on. Clever. Alright.
Andrea's a genius.
I think it actually...
Firm.
You are a genius.
Yay.
You're very smart. I think pultive means alive, and I think zank means to kill. Verb. To kill. So if pultive means alive, then that explains only one of the Glauds earlier that we met was pultive, and that's why it could talk, because it was living. Smib does mean to die then. You'll die when you're killed and not before is what that means, I think. Alright, let me get back on my verb list here. It might be that there's nothing I can do with this stike. Tund stike. You're just a Gostak. Tunding without a tunder is beyond you. See, I thought tund meant to store. Tunk stike? Tunk is kind of like a look at more closely. It deaves across the Gomway. Vorl stike. Vorl is the fesh of Gallopers, and I think fesh means like option. Which is interesting because feshery is like a computer. Like a set of options.
You don't care. So I was reading this thread in Reddit that was like all these different things that, like, what's unique about your country. And someone was saying that apparently in Finland, people like to keep their personal space unless they're in a sauna. They will get all up naked and sweaty next to each other like it's nobody's business. Like it's nothing. But at a bus stop, they keep their distance.
Clouds about
is that true, Johan?
The living Gloud thinks for a moment, I think cameling just means moment, considers you and says unheamy. I think unheamy means useless. So the stike is useless. Okay. Doach to Gloud about Delcott. Doach to Glauds about Tandem. Pultive Gloud also thinks that the Tandem is useless. It's interesting that the Pultive Gloud beckled for a moment when I doached it about the stike.
Oh yeah,
but
that was really
when I doached it about the tandem, it didn't beckle at all. It just immediately said on heat.
Why wouldn't it beckle? The fuck? I mean, it beckles.
Do you think it beckled for some reason when I mentioned the stike, but not the glommy?
I don't know. I mean, it's just a little beckle
Doach to Glauds
for anyone
about Duskets. Okay, thinks the Duskets are useless too.
You're useless.
Purple is useless. Gostak.
Jesus.
Gostak distims the dashes. Gostak cannot distim the dashes. A warb degums the brangy. Doach to warb. Oh, the warb can talk. Doach to warb about warb. A gitch frikes from the Hoggum to zank and leal the warb. Zank the gitch! You zank one, and it smibs into the brangy. Alright.
So when do you win this game? Are you trying to, like...
I have to stim the dashes.
You have to know what that is, just stimming the dashes?
I need to know where I need to go to stim the dashes. Alright, I killed a gitch, because it was trying to attack. I think leal means to attack.
I don't know if I like this game.
Why not?
Well, I mean, it's very unique and interesting, and I can see why you like it, but I don't think I'd play this game.
You'd be surprised what you learn just from syntax.
Yeah.
Like, the stuff that's just encoded into English, that just the way the sentence is structured, you know that has to be a direction, or that has to be a verb, or that has to deal with this sort of thing. That makes sense. Alright.
I'll watch you play it.
Hell Brangy. Zank Gitch. Doach warb. Doach to warb, excuse me. Doach to warb about Gitch. There is no Disbosh's response, right? I should already have that. Gitches get stitches. Yeah, there's no response. Oh, I think the warb is dead. That makes me sad. Well, I should restart and try to talk to the warb again before it dies. Doach to warb about Gitch. Hell warb. Oh, do camlings have to pass in order for me to pell?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Doach
That's a camling.
to Gitch. Oh, I can talk to the Gitches. Doach to Gitches about warb. Oh, but I haven't actually found out about the warb yet. Doach to Gitches about Gostak. There's no response. Doach to Gitches about Gitches. Doach to Gitches about condom. A Gitch tunks you from the Hoggum.
What are we doing for dinner?
I figure we can do Blue Apron.
Oh wait, aren't Dan and Lindsay coming over?
Yeah, read the Facebook group.
Oh. I have not done that.
Now the warb is here. Doach to warb about Gitches. Oh, okay. As soon as we see the warb, the Gitch kills it immediately. It's a bummer. Deave. Deave is just sitting around doing nothing. Rask. Rask Tandem. It's not something you need to type in the course of this game. Okay. Was to go. Let's go Pell Kerf. Pell Kerf. Pell. What are my other directions? Down. Pell Loff. Pell Hoff. So Pilter D's here, tucking the Fosk for gropples to attack. Leal might mean to eat, actually. Because it said it killed it and then ate it, I think is what it might mean. So, to eat. Doach to Pilter. Doach to... about... gropples. Oh, Pilter might be an animal since it doesn't seem to respond. Zank Pilter? It rebs your Zankage. The Pilter pells at the Kerflut. Pell Kerflut. Zank Pilter. Rep, I mean, package. Keeps running on the different LUTs here. One does not simply doach to warp about gitches. Or maybe I'm not supposed to zank the Pilter. Fair enough.
Why would you zank the Pilter? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Let's go Hell Curve. One does not simply zank a Pilter. Hell G-Loff. Okay. Tonk gropples.
Politive.
The Gomway is modeled with them. The Pilter eats a grapple. Leal grapple. There, maybe Shorkle doesn't mean impossible. Something similar. It's confusing to play. I'm not that much more in tune with what's happening than any of y'all are. Veal Pilter. The Pilter wouldn't be fond of that, so I said stam means fun, but I think it also means fond. So the Pilter wouldn't be happy if I tried to eat him. Hell. Oh, right. Reb is to look. Hell Stike. Deaving is like going. Grapple definitely doesn't mean fork, though. It's like a creature that you can eat. I don't think I want to go back to the Delcot. Hoff. Actually, let's go Kerf. Hoff-jirf is the way we just came, so let's go Hoff. Alright, I'm at a dead end. Ooh. To the Hoff is the Samilen you reb from the Delcot. Reb Samilen. Oops. Doach to Samilen about Samilen. Oh, the Samilen's not living. I guess learning that pultive means alive is really important. I can use that now as a test.
Hi, Raker.
See you, Raker. To know whether a noun is a living thing or not. Hell Samilen.
I think I'm gonna bounce too. Go.
Alright, bye.
Cough away from the microphone.
Oh, I need to import the background in here, don't I?
I bet it did.
This is a different scene, so I hadn't added it before. The Samilen for the Drokes of Tandem. So Samilen is a place. You can pell the Delcot to G-Loff or the Gomway to Loff, but Droke is doaching it himself by the Hoff-lot. Okay, so Droke is some kind of living creature. Living, talking creature. Doach to Droke about Droke. That's me. Doach to Droke about Gostak. Oh, I see. After I said Pel Samilen, as you go on the Samilen, the Droke rebs you. Reb means to greet. Greet. Meet. But Gostak, he doaches. He says, "Here to distim the dashes? You fucking know it, buddy. You can't. A Gamda tunded a Gelliper in the Delcot, and the Gelliper's been pounding clouds at the Dashery. And as for us jokes, well, ever since the Gamda, our Morlian has been topthid. But Gom and Doach, maybe you'll find something useful. Okay. I'm gonna save this. This seems like a really important line. Yeah. Alright, so let's review this sentence. I feel like the fact that it's a person talking really helps us figure out what shit means. I think Reb might mean to find, more so than what I'm going with. Alright, so as you gom, we said, would be like to access, right? A degom must mean exit. So exit, gom is enter, and regom is re-enter, cover. Okay. So as you enter the Samilen, a Droke finds you. A Gostak, he says, here to distim the dashes, you can't. A Gamda tunded a Gelliper in the Delcot. Okay. Let's start writing that stuff down. Gamda is a noun. Tons Gellipers. Stops me from distimming dashes. Gamda tunded a Gelliper in the Delcot, and the Gelliper's been popping clouds. Tunded by Gamda. What else does it do? It pops clouds at Dashery. Also stops me from distimming dashes, presumably. As for us Drokes, well, ever since the Gamda suggests that Gamda is like a force of nature. Like, you don't really say ever since the Gamda about a person. You say that about ever since the hurricane. Ever since the earthquake. Our Morlian has been toafed. Do with civilization, hurricane-ish, earthquake. I think we already have toaf, don't we? No, I guess not. Some kind of adjective, verb. Verb, something bad, probably. But gom, enter, and speak. Maybe you'll find something useful, because heamy means useful, red means find, maybe. Alright, so let's talk to him about the Gamda, which I'm thinking is like an earthquake or a storm or something. Doach to Droke about Gamda. It could regom. It could even tund another Gelliper. After all, there are no lawns here. So it could come back. Gamda. Able to come back. It could even... can tund Gellipers again. There are no lawns here. Lawn is a new noun, I think, right? Doach to Droke about lawns. You won't find any lawns in the Delcot of Tondum. The Cobics harass them all. I think we found a Cobic. Yeah, there's a Cobic Gloud before. Okay. This dude is like almost as good as the help menu in terms of new things I can learn. Cannot be found in Delcot of Tondum because Cobics rask them. Did we learn Rask? I think Rask is like to use. Doach to Droke about Cobics. Cobics deave in the Doral and tund the Panks. Deave in the Doral. Deave might mean to live. I might explain because I think I can just say Deave. Yeah. You just live. You just exist for a moment, and that allows a moment to pass. So I think Deave, I thought it was to go, but just to exist, to be. It might even just mean is. To live. Hey Heaton, how you doing? Thanks for sharing this again on your subblock. I really enjoy this game a lot. The Cobics live in the Doral. Alright, Doach to Droke about the Doral. It's motched with Posket. That's why the Cobics live there, for the Posket. They tund henfifes with it. Okay. So, Doral is a place where the Cobics are. So it's interesting, I guess, I thought Cobic was an adjective that only modifies clouds. Noun, place, motched with Poscat. Cobics want Poscat. And they use it for something. Tund might mean to make. A write, program, store, send, consider, observe, make. I mean, I have so many choices with it. Select, to do. It might just mean to do, to be honest. Henfife I haven't learned yet. Henfife is a noun. Something tunded with Poscat. Okay. So let's Doach to Droke about henfifes. Ever used a gasking henfife? Those henfifes sure can gask things. Can gask things. Gask is a verb. Modifies henfife. Doach to Droke about gasking. Gasking henfife. Shit. Gask. Gask Droke. You can't gask something that's alive. Huh. Doach to Droke about the Poscat. It's not as Tavid as Gent or as Davli as Sindish, but the Cobics are fond of it. I think motched means like covered. I might already have that. Yeah, covered. Okay. Tavid is an adjective that means like it's a quality, like maybe hard or brittle or something. We'll even say it's a positive quality, because he says but afterward, right? Dobbly is also an adjective. That's a positive quality. Sindish is a noun. A material like Poscat. Did I already say Poscat was a material? Oh shit, now I need to put Poscat in here. Noun, material used to make things. The Kovics are fond of it. Doatching and Drukes is definitely heamy. Ball, Game Saucer. Absolutely. Alright, so we can, if we ever need Poscat, we gotta go to the Doral to get it. Good to know. Yeah, this Droke is almost as useful, if not more useful, than the help menu. Doach to Droke about clouds. There's 5 clouds, unless the Gelliper tunded more, unless the Gelliper made more. Be made by Gellipers? Question mark? Doach to Droke about the Gelliper. She was the gopest Gelliper I've ever rebbed, and Das too. She'd goamed the Delcot, pobbed those clouds at the Dashery, and pelled Foskin. I'm gonna say Das means pretty. The way that sentence is structured. Reb definitely means seen. Found, meet, met. Stupid sexy Gelliper. Gope is an adjective meaning rad. Or something similar. She just goamed the Delcot, and when Gome was like entered, what happened to the Gelliper? Didn't we find out something bad happened to the Gelliper? It was tunded by the Gamda. She's the Cloud Popper. Hell was like to go. I don't think I know Foskin yet. Foskin is road. Traveled roads. So she just went to the Delcot. I need to figure out what pob means to understand whether or not the Gelliper is a good thing or not. And whether it's good to pop clouds. Something you do to clouds. Doach to Droke about pobbing. Shit. Doach to Droke about Foskin, which just means roads. Can't doach anything at you about that. Oh, Genth is also a material used to make things, presumably. Genth, noun. Hoff-jirf. Oh. It means to move. Hob clouds. Doatch to Droke about... Cultive Cloud. That which is living can be killed, among other things. Yeah. Doatch to Droke about... What were the other kind of clouds? Rascable Cloud. Hardly a cloud at all, unless you're a Dusket or a Plave or something that can't rask things. You learn what rask means? No. Alright, so... Dusket... Plave... Noun, can't rask. I think I learned Dusket already. It's something that glakes but not rasks. Plave is my first learning of Plave. You could, like, change what a word is and have it permanently replaced with that word going forward. Yeah, I guess you could get yourself stuck if you type in the wrong answer for it, but maybe that's up to you to... Maybe you have a button to reset it if you think you got it wrong later. Interestingly, when you're playing the game, you use some of these words often enough that they're just natural. Like, Doatch just means talk now. Heamy just means useful. Doatch to Droke about Dusket. Doatch to Droke about Plave. The Pank or the Pilter? Oh. Well, we already suspect that the Pilter is a kind of animal, because it was just, like, eating other animals. Alright. Pilter. Oh, I never wrote down Pilter. Shit. Pilter. Noun. Animal. Also a Plave. Doatch. Droke about the Pilter. We're always rebbing Pilters on the Gomway. They're about as maverous as Panks, but you can't tund gropples without Pilters. Maverous might mean like nasty, my current guess. Nasty, predatory, dangerous. Sorry for tunding gropples. Most of the fun is eventually having a nonsense brain that reads these sentences. Yeah, and it's fun when people are in chat using it in the Gostakian language. I'm like, oh yeah, that's totally heamy. We're always seeing Pilters on the Gomway. They're almost as maverous as Panks. Doatch to Droke. I guess maverous could also mean numerous. Numerous. About Panks. Mergus goves, those Panks rask. I thought Panks couldn't rask things. We already know Sindish is a kind of material. Maybe its bulk is like to mine, gather. Rask just might mean R. It might also be like Mergus goves, those Panks rask, those Panks are. But we already have something that means to be, and I think it's deave, like to exist. Oh, you know, I think that Panks are bad. I think Panks eat things, destroy things. Mergus, adjective, negative quality. Because if we think that Maverous is a negative quality, then it would make sense since they're about as Maverous as Panks. Mergus would also be negative. Go, noun, negative noun, critter, pest, maybe? Mulk, verb, something done to Sindish, possibly negative. Ultep, verb, something done to the Calbis on a lawn, possibly negative. Calbis is a noun that we haven't learned about yet. Let's see. Doach to Droke about Calbis. Cobics are fond of Calbises. That's why there are Calbises on some of the darfs here. Oh. Something the Cobics like. It's a darf, though. Doach to Droke about darf. Those are warm, not like the Palgic ones. Possibly positive, possibly opposed to Palgic. Palgic, adjective. Possibly negative. Let me quickly wrap all this text, yeah. Okay. Doach to Droke about Palgic darf. If you're fond of those, try on whomm ones. The whomm ones are even snaver. Alright, so darf is able to be Rorm, Palgic, whomm. Snave, adjective. Modifies darf. Doach to Droke about whomm darf. That's a darf for a Gostak. That is. Alright, so new goal. Find a whomm darf. Okay. Screw the dashes. We're gonna get ourselves a whomm darf. Who needs to distim? There's whomm darfs afoot. Darf quest. Doach to Droke about rebbing darfs. Shit. Reb darf. Hell. Rask darf. Unrask darf. I need to go back and mark more of my important verbs because I kind of lost track of them. Doach to darf. Darfs aren't alive. Okay. Baltic darf country. This is bat country. 5 useful to Gostaks. Is there a to get? Something I can do to look at it, right? Not deave. Hell to darf. To darf. Can't zank a darf because it's not alive. Okay. Let me review my verbs really quick. This darf thing seems really important. Abvate darf. Oh, the Droke. He pobs it back at you. Pob, darf. Pob. Unpob, darf. Depob, darf. Huh. So I don't really know what pob means, do I? I thought it was move. Maybe it's like to take? Beckle about darf. Beckle darf. Alright, whatever. Kren darf. Krenning is something that can only be done towards clouds. Can only be done to clouds. I didn't know that. Darf. You wouldn't exit a darf, that doesn't make any sense. Disengope darf. Although I don't think disengope is a word I can use. Tunk darf. It's rorm. Just learn rorm. Just tunk darf. Tunk darf. I can't talk to it because it's not alive. Glake darf. Oh, Glake also means like attack. Okay. Because you can't Glake something that's not pultive, it's not alive. Leal darf. First, rasking the Tarshan. So I'm pretty sure Leal means to eat. I eat a Tarshan darf. Can be lealed, eaten, Tarshan, describes darfs. Doach to Droke about Tarshan darf. Pob, Halgic darf. Pob was the kind that I wanted, a whomm darf. Where are the whomm darfs? Fuck. Alright. Now that we're out of that rabbit hole. Pob Calpus. Rab Calpus? Doach to Droke. Doach to Droke about deaving resistance. Alright. About Goves. Most plaves rask Goves, but few rask ones Murgus enough to mulk Sindish or Jenth. Alright. Murgus is necessary to mulk Sindish Jenth. Something can be done to materials. Is rask like to have? Seems weird that something can't rask. Maybe it's not to have. Contain. Oh, nice, sir. I'll probably go completionist with it as well. It's good to know. I might end up doing a long session for it at some point just so it doesn't dominate the schedule for too long. We'll see how we're doing when we get to the main story estimate. Doach Droke about Sindish. Droke about Morlian. Oh. It's fucked. And everyone who's gone to it has been killed or attacked. It might mean dangerous. So it's not a verb, it's like an adjective. Pel to the Morlian. Oops. Where is it, though? Do you? A darftunder? Oh my goodness. Doach to darftunder. Oh, the darftunder is not ultive. I thought maybe it was one who tons darfs. Darftunder. No. Not alive. Hob darftunder? Already here. Rask darftunder. I don't know the meaning of Rask yet. That's impossible. Doach to Droke about darftunder. The darftunder? It tons darfs. Just dirch it and it'll ton a darf for you. Is it a vending machine that produces darfs? Dirch. Verb. Something that can be done to darftunders. It makes darfs. I think ton means to make. I think it has a lot of meanings. I've written it down a billion times now. Write, program, store, select, do, make. Yeah. Alright, so let's go ahead and dirch the shit out of that darftunder. Tons a Tarshan darf and pobs it into a chender. The fuck is a chender? Maybe pob means to place. I guess it would also mean to take in that case. Chender. Doach to Droke about chender. Pob Tarshan darf from chender. Oh, pob Tarshan darf. Turd means smurf. Hob darf? You aren't asking that. Lil darf. Okay, so I have to rask before I leal something. How about dirch, darftunder? I think dirch might mean like to press. Alright, I can dirch any number of Tarshan darfs. And I can leal all of them. Can I rask the darf now? Rask. Oh, you already have that. So rask is like to take. So a raskable gloud is a takeable gloud. Oh. Reb. Let's go back to the Gelcot. Or the Delcot, excuse me, which is to the Gloff. So, Gloff. Let's go ahead and rask the raskable gloud. Awesome. Oh, we're at time. Shit, I lost track of it because I was having such a delightful time. I think I did that last session. Alright. So, future me, one of the most important things you can do is go the opposite of Gloff to go back to the Samilen and talk to the Droke. Doach to the Droke. The Droke is full of useful information. You can talk to him about virtually any noun, and he'll give you some information about the noun and give you some verbs that associate with it. So that's probably your main track for progression, is doaching to the Droke. You still have 4 more Glauds you have to deal with. One of them is Kabik. Find out more about that. Definitely read through this hellish Google sheet and maybe watch more of the VOD. Thanks for putting this on your sub, Lucky 10. I really, really like this.